Hello and welcome, this is Old Man Poole. I'm jumping into my second M19 Draft League, pretty much following immediately on the heels of the one that I recorded and posted earlier today. I edited in the middle, but it's only been a couple of hours. I'm pretty excited to jump right in on the first day again. Pretty unexciting rare here in Isolate. Don't think this card is particularly good in draft. Very unlikely you're actually going to hit something with it. Good constructed card probably, but nothing really here. I'm immediately tempted by Lightning Strike, just very solid removal spell in a set that I feel like has been a little bit lighter on removal than I'm used to, but maybe just that's been a sample size for me so far. Lightning Strike seems pretty good. Shock is actually probably the second pick. Also, Starcrown Stag seems good. Sky Scanner, there's some stuff here. I think we're just going to take Lightning Strike. As always, I want to thank everyone that subscribed to the channel, everyone that likes and comments on the videos. It means an awful lot to me, really does help people find me on YouTube. And it's really great to see the community grow and flourish like it has over the last couple of days and weeks and months. I've also got a couple of events coming up soon, which I want to tell you guys about. I'm a part of the Wizards M19 preview event for Magic Arena, which is streaming on Twitch on Wednesday, which is starting at 2 o'clock Pacific time. And I'm going to have 20 beta codes to give out, so if you guys are interested in joining the Magic Arena beta, that's a great time to jump in. And I hope to see you all there. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Should be good to be able to interact with you guys in real time. Also, the day after, on Thursday, I'm also streaming. I haven't streamed for a long time, but we're doing it back to back. I'm doing the Elder Dragon Race, which is hosted by Riptide Project Laboratories, who's another sweet YouTuber. And that starts at 5 o'clock Pacific time. We'll go for 2 hours. And I'm playing Nicol Bolas is my legendary Elder Dragon, and then just a deck full of commons and uncommons. We're going to see if we can take down a whole league off of that. Alright, we talked a lot. This next pack also has an Isolate in it, which is definitely not great. I think this pack is kind of mediocre in general. I think I'm going to take Gargoyle Sentinel. I think this card is pretty solid, both as a defender and then a late game threat. Even Windmage is probably a good second pick, but Gargoyle Sentinel seems good. So Poison Tip Archer is pretty powerful. This is getting to be a little late for it, but honestly, Electrify is just the windmill slam here. It's another good removal spell. Like I said, I feel like you take removal pretty highly, even more highly than you might in a lot of formats. And yeah, it's on color. Seems good. Divination, I think, probably is good. I think the format does seem to be slow. It's not actually like... I feel like it's not a crazy like control format per se, but it's just not a game or format where your opponent dies really quickly, so Divination is often easy to mix in. Essence Scatter's good. Rock's Oracle was good the one time I played it. Let's do it. Let's do Electrify though. Okay, another one cost good like modern card, but not really something here with Infernal Reckoning. I don't really know what I want out of this pack. There's a couple of okay black cards. Probably just gonna take Spark Tongue Dragon. This frequently has just been like a 3/3 for 5 when I've seen it, but that's not so terrible. And once in a blue moon you'll get to kick it, and then it'll be really pretty good at 8 mana as well. Scholar of Stars is kind of interesting with Gargoyle Sentinel. We could maybe try and go in on the Artifact deck, although I'm not sure there are a ton of good cards that go along. Like, there's not a lot of good artifacts. Gargoyle Sentinel is, I think, one of the best. So I think I'm just going to take Spark Tongue Dragon. Scholar of Stars does seem really, really good if you can get there, though. So another Poison-Tipped Archer. A lot of green, actually, in this pack. Not a ton in the way of red. There's a Skeleton Archer, which is pretty solid. Also a Snapping Drake if we wanted to go towards a like blue-red sort of skies deck. Blue has seemed kind of open over the last couple of picks, but that means we've also been passing a lot. Poison-Tipped Archer, I feel like, unfortunately, is just a pretty heavy commitment for us. Although I could take, like, Druid of the Cal and maybe just shift into green. Green does seem kind of open. I think Snapping Drake is better, although maybe only marginally so. Yeah, I'm honestly not sure. I think I'm going to take the Drake. You guys will have to let me know if you think that maybe Druid of the Cal is better. Maybe I should even take a jump on the Poison-Tipped Archer train. But I think that's what we're sticking with for now. So there's Ravenous Harpy here, which is solid. Inspired Charge, which is, I imagine, good in the like go wide sort of tokeny decks. There's also a Highland Lake, which we could just take. Reassembling Skeleton's kind of cool. I guess it actually is kind of a wombo with the Harpy. Harpy with red is kind of interesting because if we do end up picking up like late Act of Treasons, that can be a way to snowball some removal, which is pretty good. I think we're gonna take the Harpy out of this pack. Keep our options open just a little bit. Now there's a Millstone. The last draft we did, we definitely went hard on the Mill archetype and didn't quite get there, spoilers, but it was a lot of fun. Maybe we'll have to try it with Millstone sometime, although I think that the cards that we were playing were actually better than that one already. So there's a Goblin Instigator, which is fine, Explosive Apparatus, pretty much all these are okay. Do I want a Divination or a Wind Mage more? That's actually pretty close. In a lot of formats, I just say the Wind Mage, and it's not really, like, it's a Windmill Slam comparatively. But Divination has been impressive to me. I think I'm going to take the Wind Mage still, but I could actually see my opinion on that changing as the format progresses. Okay, don't like Frilled Sea Serpent much. Cancel's okay. It is better if we end up with, like, an Enigma Drake, if we end up going into the sort of blue-red spells archetype. I guess we'll pick it up here. Not fantastic, but not terrible. There's a Submerged Boneyard, which we could take as sideboard. There's also a Field Creeper and a Gearsmith Guardian, which maybe we could sneak into some like artifact synergies with the Guardian. Yeah, I guess we'll try that. I could see the Boneyard being the pickup there too. I'm not actually sure how aggressively I should pick up the fixing. Not much here. I guess we'll take Clarion Scholar, although we're going to hope not to play it. And not much here either. Yes, Loxodon's probably the most likely thing we'd play. Maybe Macabre Waltz since we already have the Harpy, but I guess red actually got kind of cut, didn't it? We didn't see a lot of that as the game, or as the first pack went on. Submerged Boneyard. Yeah, I'll take Doom Dissenter. Okay. Well, we have a segue into black if it seems like that's something good that we could be doing. Ghost Form's like absurdly mediocre. I don't think you really hardly ever want to play this card, but okay. Ooh, well, there's some stuff here for sure. There's a Transmorgifying Wand, which I do want to try out. I don't know how good this is. It turns stuff into oxen, and then I guess potentially we can fly over and kill them with dragons because the oxen are pretty bad at flying. There's also an Exclusion Mage, though. An Exclusion Mage just seems really, really good. Part of me is like, we should pick the sweet card right off the bat and see how it goes in the format. This doesn't actually even seem like that absurd. Exclusion Mage is really good, so I think I'm probably going to take that. I'm sorry, no goats this time. I promise it'll happen at some point. But yeah, I think Exclusion Mage is just too good to pass up here. Oh wow, they reprinted Phylactery Lich, I didn't even know that. This is a pretty cool card. Not really one that I think we can afford to play, but a pretty cool card. There's a Suspicious Bookcase here, Disperse, Essence Scatter, and Snapping Drake, all of which I think are pretty okay. I think I'm going to take a Snapping Drake. I think Suspicious Bookcase is fairly replaceable with the other like blue walls. Essence Scatter's fine. Disperse is also fine. I think Snapping Drake's best though. Not much here. Sky Scanner's probably the pickup. There's a Sarkhan's Unsealing. It feels like we've seen this card rather a lot. But it is a pretty cool card. Definitely a pretty cool card. It's not being triggered by anything we're playing right now though, so I think we're gonna have to let it go down the river here. You want to take Sky Scanner? Yeah. Over not tons else. Aerial Engineer. It's not. Oh wow, another Sarkhan's Unsealing. Oh, we could have done it. We could have done it. Red seemed really not open, hasn't it? Although white's not felt particularly open either. This is a really big payoff. Like, we have a reasonable amount of artifacts actually in the deck, and this being a 4/4 would be kind of stupid good. It's possible we'd wheel like the Meandering River, or should we just take Snapping Drake because it's safer? I'm going to take Aerial Engineer. I think this is kind of speculative, but I think we're going to take Aerial Engineer. Hey, Departed Deckhand's actually a 2-drop I'm really on board with. Happy to see that here. There's another Even Wind Mage or a Salvager of Secrets, which I think could be good too, but Deckhand is super solid. Well, there's a Siegebreaker Giant, kind of late as well. This is probably not quite as good a deck for it, but I think it's just high power in general, so I'm probably going to take it here. The alternative is like the Ogre or Wall of Mist, neither of which are real exciting. So, Omen Speaker, Perfectly playable. Again, not super exciting, but perfectly playable. There was a late Johnny's Pride main in that last pack for what that's worth. Nothing really here. I guess I'll take Field Creeper. I think Aerial Engineer's just probably not going to get there. We'd maybe splash for it. It's a 4/4. I mean, late in the game, it's still not bad. It's just not nuts either. I feel like I've been uncharacteristically drawn towards blue in these packs. Blue is not usually my go-to color, but been two drafts in a row here. Anaki Ogre over Active Treason and Tectonic Rift and Skeleton Archer. There's an Active Treason if we were going to try and go off with the Harpy plan. I think that's a little bit speculative if that's not our main deck. Black Troll, man, look at all this black. It's kind of funny. None of it's particularly good. I guess we could just take the Lich as just a rare draft. Not going to make the deck. But, alright. Valerian Scholar and Rupture Spire. Rupture Spire is a way to play the Aerial Engineer. Maybe we play that? It's kind of costly. It kind of costs you 2 mana the turn it comes in. It does splash for anything. I don't really like Valerian Scholar. We already have 1 if we need it. Okay, Totally Lost isn't a bad pickup here. We already have 1 cancel, which makes the second one worse, but Totally Lost is fine. Fire Elemental, sure. Ogre, sure. Okay, well, I'm not like blown away with the deck right now. I feel like we're missing star power, but it's not terrible either. Goblin Trashmaker. Sacrifice a goblin, destroy an artifact. Other goblins get bigger. Don't really think that's something we're going to be doing here. Probably take Sift out of this pack. Sift is quite good, better than Divination, better than Cancel, better than Meteor Golem, I think. This is probably playable, but 7 is expensive. The effect is really good, though. Very, very good at blowing up our sweet milling enchantments. No bitterness here, of course. Let's take Sift. Ooh, interesting. There's Sleep here, also Disperse. Sleep can be really good. It's interesting because it's strictly a tempo spell, and a lot of times you look at tempo and are just like, it's card disadvantage. Unless you're really, really aggressive, it doesn't quite get there. But even in kind of your average decks, Sleep can get there because it's such a tempo to play. You get to tap down all your opponent's creatures, they don't get to attack you next turn, and you get into a following round of attacks. It opens up your entire board for 2 turns running. Salvador's Secret's pretty sweet, but I am going to take Sleep, I think. I haven't played this card in a long time. That's true of a lot of these cards. Explosive Apparatus, still looking okay to me. But I want Snapping Drake or Havoc Devils more. I think I'm on Team Drake, although maybe Devils is a little bit better at just like jamming up the ground. I guess we have like Ogres for that and stuff, right? I think Snapping Drake might be better. Mist Collar's not really a card I like much. Heroic Reinforcement seems good, but I think we're a little ways off of that. In fact, I'm not even sure Aerial Engineer's gonna make the cut. It maybe will off Rupture Spire, but we're getting enough playables. I'm not sure I'm gonna really twist the mana base, even though this card would be quite good. Let's take a Disperse here. Happy to have at least one of these in the deck. Ooh, Aviation Pioneer and a Gallant Cavalry and a Rogue's Gloves, which I think is actually probably pretty okay when you're playing things like Disperse and Sleep and Exclusion Mage. I guess we're not playing white. Gallant Cavalry is not really an option. We could have had double Phylactery or Lich. It's kind of sweet. Aviation Pioneer is probably just too good to pass up, right? It's like Chump Blocker on the ground and a Flyer in the air. Yeah. And there's another one. There's an Aether Shield Artificer, which I think is one of like hallmark cards for the white deck. Man, we probably... Did we just give up on red? Got like Ogre, play Aerial Engineer, splash for like Electrify and Lightning Strike off like Rupture Spire, and maybe cut like these. That deck just better. I guess this is only creatures, but that hits like Gargoyle Sun. That hits a reasonable amount. Kind of like that. Maybe we hope to like Wheel of Manolith. It's a little bit speculative. It's pretty speculative. Card's pretty good though. Yeah, I don't know. That might have been not great. Nothing really for us here. I mean, a Daybreak Chaplain's fine. Uncomfortable Chill is, I guess, a sideboard card or an option. Against a go wide deck, Uncomfortable Chill might be able to pull its worth. Aether Tunnel's not great. Bone to Ashes, kind of slow. Snapping Drakes. Snapping Drakes dot deck. A little bit worried we don't have enough going on in the early game. Oh well, Omen Speaker will do a good job of blocking their entire army, right? Not much for us here. I guess Make a Stand's maybe a sideboard option. Another Tolarian Scholar, I guess that actually may be a necessary evil for the deck. And I think if we are going to play this kind of greedy, like, white / red / mostly blue deck, actually Explosive Apparatus I think is something we kind of want. There's Heroic Reinforcements. It's a double splash for us. Good card, but probably not something we're going to end up playing. Cinder Barons doesn't actually help us splash anything. It's like Harpy, but yeah, whatever. Okay, Gearsmith Guardian seems fine. Okay, I mean, I think the deck is okay. We're pushing it a little bit from a mana perspective. I think that this is still going to be better, though. Between Aerial Engineer and Aether Shield Artificer, that's actually going to be pretty good with all the quality artifacts we have in the deck. I think I'm going to play Field Creeper, even though it's not, like, fantastic. Kind of keeping that in mind. We're going to cut a Snapping Drake, even though that card's pretty good. There's such a thing as too much of a good thing. Do I want to cut a Tolarian Scholar? Probably. Get down to 17 lands here. We're actually doing okay in the 3-drop department, I think, as it is. Alright, This deck is nothing if not sweet, which is cool. Our first deck in the form was sweet. This deck's sweet. Hopefully we don't get run over. But play Rupture Spire. I think we're going to play probably like 2 of each here. I think that the deck recommends triple plains, but 1 mountain. I wonder why. Okay, well, we could do something like this with like 12 blue sources, 3 red sources, 3 white sources. We could also do like 10-4-4. 10-4-4 is probably marginally better. We actually don't have a whole lot that's double blue. Like, we're running 1 cancel, which maybe we shouldn't even be playing, honestly. Cancel is kind of a nice catch-all. Yeah, kind of like I guess it's 3-3-11 with Rupture Spire. Rupture Spire's awkward in a lot of instances, but I think it'll be okay. Alright, here is the deck. I'll see you guys for match 1. Alright, we are back for match 1. I am currently wondering if blue is just bad in this format, which is why we keep ending up in blue, because maybe nobody else wants to take those cards. This hand's okay. Omen Speaker is very likely to help us find a couple more lands, and then if we get up to the point where we can sift, then everything is forgiven anyway. So, I think this looks alright. There are advantages of being kind of a monocolor deck. Rupture Spire. So we could play that instead of the Omen Speaker and delay a turn. We're gonna have a good opportunity to play this. We may next turn. I kind of think I want to get the Omen Speaker just in. We have a lot of 3-drops. And I guess Omen Speaker is potentially good later on. Although I want to hit my 4th land too for Sift. Yeah, let's play Omen Speaker. I think it's actually an interesting decision there, but let's play Omen Speaker. Scry 2, and we're going to put an island on the bottom, I think, but a plains on top. And we never need more than double blue realistically. We may actually get rid of the Rupture Spire with Sift, depending on if we find red. Let's put the plains on top. And pass back to my opponent. They're also playing blue, so at least we have a friend in the derpdom over here. Although blue-green does not feel like a blue deck most of the time. What is it, with their big fancy creatures and shenanigans? Okay, so nothing really we can play this turn. We will just play Rupture Spire. Oh, I guess that's true if we were drawing the plains off the top. I didn't really think that completely through. That's okay. I think it'll still work out. We did want a 4th land. I'm not sure it's going to matter too much whether it's a blue land or a white land. I guess this helps us marginally if my opponent goes for some sort of... We do want to always be very careful to do this. Yes. There we go. I am definitely going to use Rupture Spire and to accidentally like blow up. Or I'm actually going to blow up my Rupture Spire at some point in this format. Yeah, definitely going to happen. Ooh, Sigiled Sword of Valerian. That's a good card. Disperse actually maybe can cause my opponent some problems, and sleep. Ooh, Sky Scanner. So I want to hit a land for sure so that we can get the Gearsmith Guardian out next turn. That we just want to go for Sift. And then the turn after that, maybe we disperse plus Sky Scanner. I'm not really sure we pitch off Sift. Maybe we find like an extra land or something. Oh, in fact, a lot of extra lands. Yeah, let's pitch an island. And might as well attack. And this card seems super, super scary. Giant Spider. It doesn't actually stand up that well against the Gearsmith. So you can equip this up and swing next turn, although unless they have an additional trick, that's actually not fantastic. Electrify is not a bad draw either. I could go Sky Scanner Disperse. They try and equip, that's not so bad. I think actually getting the Gearsmith into play just seems pretty good. Because if they're equipping up, it's not real likely they can have a trick on top of it. In which case, they maybe just can't attack. If they have a trick on top, it's bad. There is a Monstrous Growth. It's not quite right, is it? Okay, Disperse. Whip Swing. Alright, that's pretty bad for us. They get a free 2/2 out of the deal. Can't do much about it. This next turn, what's the line? Oh, that's a hard card to beat. This next turn, we play Snapping Drake, Disperse the Spider when it goes to combat. It replays the Spider. Electrify it the following turn. Problem is Snapping Drake's not getting in real effectively anyway. We could just replay the Guardian, but it's really, really bad if my opponent has another, like, Disperse sort of effect. That may be just the play. If it sticks, it's really good for us, because then we can answer the Spider next turn. They just have any trick at all. Kind of rough. We could play Sleep and just... I don't know, that's bad. I guess the real options here are we, like, Electrify, keep up Disperse, in which case maybe we could get my opponent's Knight, and maybe cost them a lot of their turn, in which case we could play the Guardian next turn and maybe it wouldn't have anything. Maybe that's not actually terrible. He uses up kind of all our interaction at once. Maybe that's not actually terrible. I think we're gonna kill the Giant Spider now. Okay. Kill the Giant Spider. My opponent will probably try and equip up the Knight. Disperse it. Get rid of the Knight. Hopefully they can't play any follow-up. We play like Guardian, and we're on the board. Used up a lot of our tempo plays. Kind of just catching up there. But my opponent can't play anything this turn. Okay, that works out quite well for us. So we could not play the Guardian and just go for like Deckhand plus Snapping Drake. That's kind of interesting. Seems okay. Let's swing with our Omen Speaker. I don't think there's anything at instant speed that gets us here. This is slightly more mana efficient, which I always appreciate. I guess we probably want the Deckhand to get countered if one thing is going to get countered. It looks like my opponent's F6'd, so no fear of that. And now we're ahead on tempo, maybe enough to beat out the sword thanks to Sleep. We have 5 power that's kind of hard to block coming in. And if they just got like big threats, it's going to be hard to answer. Okay, Exclusion Mage is actually pretty good. They can bounce back something and then equip up the sword. This card's hard to beat. Alright. It is equipped. Alright, this turn, Sleep still feels kind of bad. I think we're probably just playing the Guardian this turn. Praying. We could swing at the Omen Speaker, and... although I kind of want to be able to block a Knight if my opponent were to go for it. Yeah, I think we're just going to swing at the Deckhand and then drop the Gearsmith. We're playing a dangerous game. Can my opponent get rid of the Gearsmith Guardian? They can. We're in a world of hurt. They can't. Maybe can still get there. Even if my opponent builds out a large board state, I still have power in the, or faith in the power of sleep to maybe knock them out long enough to let us finish the job too. We really, really are hoping they can't answer the Guardian here though. Sleep. Oh, alright. It's funny. It's an awfully similar thing to what I was planning. Okay, yeah, we will take it. Go down to 8. So we could sleep my opponent, or we could just Snapping Drake. Kind of getting caught on the expensive side here with our cards. Problem is it just keeps replacing itself. Like, my opponent does have to pay mana every time. It's not free, but pretty close to free. Let's see, my opponent swings next turn for 8, right? We're just dead if my opponent has an answer like the Snapping Drake then. We could sleep, just take it out of the picture, and then next turn my opponent probably plays something, maybe equips it as well, probably not, but probably plays something that probably can, maybe blocks the Gearsmith, but maybe not. Opponent can't swing for a turn. I think we gotta sleep. Sleep's going everywhere over here. It's kind of funny. My opponent sleeping first was obviously better than us sleeping second, but having some tight choices. This is an interesting, like, tempo game already. My opponent's just got like a 7-drop or something. I don't know if we win. Oh, Guardian of their own. Okay. Oh wow, Rabid Bite. Ugh. Yeah, we're just kind of getting run over again, aren't we? Although, thanks in large part to the bomb. You can't always plan on your opponent having a bomb. This costs 4 to activate. Now the time where we have to hope that Skyscanner hits a land. Just being so mana inefficient turn in and turn out. Taking 5 from the Guardian regardless. I kind of feel like we need to get lucky. We're feeling lucky. Okay, we did hit a land. In which case, let's play the Explosive Apparatus. My opponent will just equip up the Gears Guardian, won't it? I guess we probably need to try and get 2 threats in to block it. We're just falling farther and farther behind here, though. That Rabid Bite was pretty solid. Can we afford to get in with the deckhand? I don't actually think we can. There's probably a play earlier on where we could have been a little bit more respectful of the sword and maybe played better. Oh man, they're just getting back Rabid Bite. Alright, yeah, that's probably game. Or sleep. Oh, yeah, I guess they just go for lethal details. Well, only if they have a land. Interesting, they didn't have a land. Probably not going to matter anyway, but... Okay. So we actually have a cancel. How best can I utilize this cancel? Is there any way we can mise our opponent? Chump block. Chump block takes 6. We swing for 5. Have 8. Let's see, if we swing for 6 down to 9, then we have Snapping Drake. Keep up cancel, but we don't have Explosive Apparatus. Chump block there. Take 8, exactly. Darn. We're really close, actually. Maybe we have to hope to find like exactly Lightning Strike. Or just Explosive Apparatus. Actually, maybe could do it next turn. We play Snapping Drake with cancel up for sleep incoming. We swing with the Snapping Drake in the deckhand, take my opponent to 10. We chump block, take 6. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a long line, but we could actually maybe get there. Swing with those 2. We do have exactly cancel in our hand for the sleep, which is incoming. I think if my opponent gone for Rabid Bite, we would not have had a chance here, but we do have that fateful 3 blue up. Maybe we should have tapped a little bit differently to make my opponent less suspicious. Oh no, because sleep... Yeah, I don't know. I think my opponent just has to go for it. Yep. Whips up the Gearsmith. No attack. Interesting. Or I guess attacking in a slow and measured way. So we actually have lethal on board right now. My opponent playing out. We can still keep up cancel. Not sure this really changes the blocks. Opponent god. Courser. We do have lethal, right? Like, I'm not insane. Let's just go to any target, goes to my opponent. This is unblockable. Can't be blocked except by spirits. Huh. Okay, we can do both halves. I feel like I'm missing something. You guys are probably screaming at the screen. Go for lethal? Okay. Apparatus my opponent. I'm getting awfully hopeful over here. Wow. Man, I did not think there was a way back into that game. But we somehow managed it. Beat the Sigiled Sword. Oof. Man, yeah, no, I'm still not sure exactly. Playing this Courser instead of going for sleep. Like, my opponent maybe guessed we had cancel, but we had lethal if they didn't go for more. I'm not sure. I'm happy to pick up the game. It's interesting what I wonder what their last card was in their hand. Oh, it's sleep. What were they playing? I don't know. Okay. We got there. Bottom line, we got there. Okay, so also a base blue deck. Uncomfortable Chill kind of mitigates the loss from sleep. Field Creeper didn't seem absurd, but it does still trigger off of some of our other better cards. Not really sure I want to change all that much. Anything that just seemed like actively bad? Not really. Yeah, I think let's run it back. I'm glad that Explosive Apparatus managed to pick up a game. Good guy Apparatus. Okay, this hand is pretty reasonable. Not exceptional. Pretty reasonable. If we find a red source, we've got Electrify, which makes it a lot better. Right now we have Gargoyle Sentinel, which is a fine turn 3 play, and Disperse if things get too out of hand before then. Gearsmith Guardian is right now just a 3/5, which is kind of whatever, but... Or a deckhand. Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll Disperse that for sure. Good card, good card. Probably actually at its best in blue-green, since my opponent can do some nasty things to us. Don't think there's... like, my opponent's gonna change anything. And this actually, he can't even, like, target with a spell themselves. But I guess we'll let my opponent go to attacks. I don't think there's anything that changes the fact that it's gonna get got by the Disperse here. But, yeah, I mean, they can't, like, Troll Hide it, or not Troll Hide, Blanchwood Armor it, or anything like that. But cool. 1-for-1 off our Disperse. I'm pretty okay with that. I was thinking we may have to just bounce something for the tempo play, which isn't great, but I'm glad we were able to trade for really a pretty good card. Oh, okay. Gear for Guide. And we want to play our Sentinel. Sentinel actually kind of goes off with the Artificer later, although so does the Gearsmith Guardian, I guess. And we do have to pay for this effect. I guess we'll play this, and we'll probably just go ahead and block the Guide. Do need to find a land in a pretty short amount of time here, or we'll get run over. Oh, Rapid Bite. Okay. Don't matter much. What a good card. Any of the punches for 2 are pretty solid. Okay, nice. We did find another land. Still working our way up the curve. Haven't found either of our splashes just yet. We're getting punished just a little bit for that, but... oh, Essence Scatter. Okay. Now, again, would really like to find a land this next turn so we can get the Guardian online. But while we're taking a couple points of damage for the Guide, we're not falling that far behind on board, at least yet. Opponent getting to double spell last turn did help a lot. Courser? Land. No, not a land. So my opponent can keep us from blocking. We're just going to play the Pioneer. I don't think we're going to use Sleep quite yet. We could be taking as much as 6 this turn, which is Not nothing. But if we find a land, the Guardian will do a pretty good job of shoring up our defenses. My opponent is down to 2 cards in hand too, so 1 card in hand. Salvager of Secrets, getting back Rabid Bite, I would imagine. Yeah, fair enough. And we will definitely double block the guide if my opponent is down for that trade. I am also down for that trade. Okay. Actually, while I don't hate chum blocking with this in a lot of cases, I really don't want to because I want the Guardian to be big. On land. Nice. And it's even a splash land, even better. Okay, so my opponent can shrink the Guardian by killing this off with Rabid Bite, but doesn't actually have an answer to the Guardian right now. And starting next turn, we'll probably have Electrify in response to a Rabid Bite, or at least could have Electrify in response, which is pretty potent too. Oh, Sleep. Fair enough. Probably just gonna have to return it with a Sleep next turn, although we go down to 3. That's a pretty small life total. Alright, Sleep. And they have Rabid Bite as their last card in their hand. I'm debating on if they want to play it. I wouldn't think so. It is kind of funny that both games we've been like a dueling Sleep. I'm going to hit my opponent with this one. I guess we'll pretend like we could have Shock Up. I don't think there's a blue instant that we need to worry about. See, the disadvantage though of sleeping second is we just don't get the free attack in like they do. Because if we attack now, then they get to untap and get us. Still at 3, really can't afford to take much else. I think I'm just gonna pass and hope they Rabid Bite. We have the Electrify. We could Snapping Drake, I guess, and just accept that the Snapping Drake will get killed. Then my opponent actually has fairly good attacks. Yeah, we need Electrify. My opponent doesn't want to use it, we'll probably still go for it at the end of this turn. It's awfully tempting, though, to try and go for lethal. Well, it's not quite lethal anyways. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They went for it. Fell for the bait. No pump spell in response. I think we're doing okay now. Can't ever really get in with the Guardian, unfortunately, since... Although, actually, can my opponent... My opponent could just swing in, right? Do they actually have lethal? Oh, they did. I didn't even own it. Well, no, I guess we still had Electrify, but oh, maybe would have been better. Okay. So still don't think we can get in with the Guardian. Let's play our deckhand. Play the Snapping Drake. I guess maybe we'll swing in with the Thopter. 3 life is pretty precarious. Like, a lot can go wrong here. Not least of which that my opponent can Giffer Guide. Giffer. I have a friend that calls it Giffer. It always messes me up. Man, I wish Art Sleep was the one that had come with 8 damage attached to it. Disperse. Okay. Not dead. We do go to 1 then. They can trigger both of these. We'll trade with the guide. I guess my opponent could maybe force the trade with the Salvager if they didn't swing at the guide. I actually might trade. Yeah, I probably do trade. The problem. We want to go to 1. Not really. Yeah, okay. This card is doing a pretty good job of finishing the game for my opponent. Sneaking those last couple of points. Okay, Snapping Drake's not bad, certainly. Let's get in for 3 points of damage. My opponent is unlikely to have something hasty at least, so we're not dead this next turn, and then the following turn we can play another Snapping Drake and hopefully just kind of still keep up with the blockers incoming. As always, our position's rather precarious. It doesn't take too much for like a good removal spell or something could just finish the game for my opponent. They find like a Disperse, we just lose on the spot. But we do what we must at this point. And hope they keep bricking. It looks like they did this turn at least. Ooh, totally lost. So we could put the guide on top, and we could swing for 9, and then actually probably kill next turn. Right? That's pretty good. We have a flash creature. There's probably something flash in blue. We go for it, or is that just too aggressive? I think we need to totally lost before we attack in case they're holding up counter magic. Kinda like just going for it, and then the deckhand should be able to get the Gearsmith through, and that'll be the last points of damage next turn. Assuming my opponent doesn't have anything. Maybe we should play slower, but this lets my opponent draw into something as well. I like putting this on top, and they just probably don't have anything they can do about that. Did we want to swing with the aviation? So that's 8 right now. So it's still lethal next turn. We can actually keep 1 random chump blocker back. I'm hoping they just don't have anything in hand, like they drew a land. Okay, looks like we probably got him. Oh yeah, that totally lost was pretty solid. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and go for it, I guess. I had something that would have played it already. Swing for lethal? Oh man, I'm scared. This feels a more aggressive line than I usually take, but I think it's gonna work out. Alright, cool. We managed to pick up the match. It was a close card there. That Sigiled Sword definitely scared me an awful lot, and my opponent got the drop on us on sleep multiple times, but we did manage to come out the victor, which feels pretty sweet. I'll see you guys for match 2. Alright, we are back in comfy for match 2. We won the dice roll. And we're going to keep this. Look at this. Easy breezy Tron. Let's go ahead and keep. And opponent's mulligan down to 6. But keeps at that point. And bottoms. So we'll see if they manage to put together a good start or not. Yeah. Oh man, we're even. It's the American colors. Genius. It's almost the 4th of July or something, right? Ooh, Aerial Engineer? I guess we actually don't have an artifact to get it going, though. I was like, oh man, the dream! But not only do we need to find a land, we also need to find an artifact, which probably not going to happen. But we still have even Wind Rage into Snapping Drake if we find any land, so that's pretty okay. Looks like opponent's also on a blue-green land. Nice. We are going to play even Wind Mage. Very possible there's Essence Scatter, but play into it. Perfect. Doesn't even have anything. Opponent not missing on land drops. Ooh, Elvish Rejuvenator. Wonder if I can go and grab a. I guess this is only top 5, right? Yeah. Not quite Borderland Ranger. Okay. Does successfully find a land, though, helping to undo the card disadvantage of the mulligan. I think we're just going to go for Snapping Drake. And get in there with the Even Wind Mage. And, I mean, even without the Aerial Engineer beatdown, we have a reasonable, like, beatdown plan here and a lot of interaction. We're definitely ahead on tempo, which I think is a very good thing for the deck. Yeah, Giant Spider's probably just gonna get electrified here. We'll get in for 6. It's okay to me. I don't know if there's a blue or a 1-cost spell in the format. Rest in peace, Mr. Spider. I guess we have the spells to pump this every turn up until the end of the game, potentially, too. We might just go sleep next turn if it doesn't look like they have a good answer. Ooh, Skyrider Patrol. Okay. This is a great card. I've been super, super impressed. So my opponent can pay and make his Rejuvenator bigger. It doesn't gain flying permanently, which is nice. That is pretty good. +1/+1 counters, not, or definitely is permanent. I assume, yeah, no reason not to swing given what our board state looks like. There's a Sky Scanner and Disperse, so we could bounce it, play the Sky Scanner, and then sleep next turn. Probably we'll just get the job done. Sleep's a little bit nice if we can hold it up since it's more of a catch-all. Crunch for 6. Yeah, we had a great curve out this game, and definitely took advantage of my opponent's stumbles at drawing an appropriate 7-card hand. Oh yeah, an Exclusion Mage too. Genius. There's probably actually a pretty good tempo deck in this format. It'll take a little bit of time for me to figure out how exactly you want to draft it, but there probably is just a pretty good tempo deck. My opponent doesn't show us anything other than the Skyraider Patrol again. I might just use Exclusion Mage rather than show off Sleep, since Sleep is, I guess, bigger, more powerful later effect. Okay, yeah, I think we just got him here. And we still have Lethal, even without using the spell, so. Right, Exclusion Mage, finish the job. Man, yeah, our draw was just like the nut this game. Blue-green again, maybe looking like it's a little bit more Flyersy, a little bit less Sleepsy. Still don't think we changed anything really, though. Easy when you don't have a sideboard. Alright, this hand, also pretty okay. Not nearly as good as our last one, but I think definitely still a keep. It's okay, nothing's gonna be as good as the last game because our opponent A has 7 cards and B we're not on the play, but we are still gonna get a Field Creeper right on time. And we have a Disperse. If we find a blue thing, eventually we'll have a 5/5 Gearsmith Guardian. And if we find red, actually, Field Creeper plus Aether Sphere Artifice, or Aether Shield Artificer, I can speak, ends up being quite good. Opponent either, well, if they had Essence Scatter, I imagine they'd use it there, even though Field Creeper's kind of a not great card. Snapping Drake, good. Not as good as a 3-drop would have been. Go ahead and swing in for 2. We're just going to pass. So we could disperse something next turn. Ooh. And my opponent looks like their mana troubles are continuing here. No mana skill can compensate for not drawing your cards. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you mulligan game 1 down to 6 and are just kind of behind the whole game because of it. And then game 2, you just can't even find your second color. We'll definitely take full advantage here, as is good and magical, but okay, disperse. My opponent showing good restraint to wait and use it on the Snapping Drake there to get full value, and they found a forest, so they're actually not probably that far behind. Gift of Paradise. My opponent's probably doing some sweet stuff. It's kind of funny to see Gift of Paradise at uncommon, because this card still doesn't seem like nuts to me, but Exclusion Mage, good, but I think we're just going to go back to the Drake here. It's funny, this card is such a good splash enabler, but it looks so insignificant. Like, I remember seeing it in Hour of Devastation. Actually, this might have been an Amonkhet and then became good in Hour of Devastation. Might have been the way it worked, I can't remember for sure. But it was just like fantastic. It was one of the best cards you could hope for in a lot of decks, because you were playing these really greedy decks that tried to splash for multiple like double colored cards, and Gift of Paradise just does a really good job of that. Alright. Opponent probably has something at least reasonably sized here. Oh, okay. Declare Dominance. Pretty good. How much we can do about this? My opponent just manages to get a clean 2-for-1. They probably didn't have another big attacker here, otherwise I'd imagine they would have used it, but that might bode well for the rest of their hand. But yeah, my opponent gets a sweet value, and the Druid of the Kel even lives, so. Land? Not a land. So we could play Exclusion Mage at this point. Yeah, probably do. Not getting great value. But I think we do need to get some more boots on the ground and try and set up for the Gearsmith Guardian, and this is a blue card for that. So we'll bounce that. It's also not impossible that it's going to hold my opponent off playing something bigger, badder, scarier. Although, again, if they had it, I kind of feel like they would have used it last turn. But there's that Skyraider Patrol. That's probably going to get electrified. I'm not sure we can really deal with that if the game goes on too long. The +1/+1 counter payoff is legit. The land, which makes me want to play the Gearsmith Guardian. Take 4 damage in the air next turn, and the Druid of Cal permanently grows. If we don't electrify. We could just electrify, play it safe. Is this only put on another target creature, so you actually can't give it to yourself? I think between like Disperse and Totally Lost and everything, it is just going to be okay to play the Guardian. Let's go ahead and play the Guardian. Like, the +1/+1 counter probably isn't going to matter, I don't think. I could be wrong. I could definitely see me being wrong here. Alright, we're still kind of hoping just to dodge really big stuff on my opponent's side. This is feeling like a Divinate. I'm not sure why it feels like a Divinate, but I'm calling Divinate. Dwindle, alright. So that might actually get dispersed at some point. Can't really block right now anyway. I don't want to disperse Dwindle, but I might disperse the Guardian. Opponent not choosing to do it, because they have a follow-up. We may be getting put out a little bit. This is big, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Okay, Rock's Oracle is quite good, although Exclusion Mage does trade for it, which means that even though my opponent gets good card advantage there, the tempo is not quite as bad for us. Okay, so now we have enough to electrify and disperse, which is kind of nice. I think we're just going to electrify the Skyrider Patrol. I don't want that to even trigger for my opponent. And we're just going to pass it back, with the intention of probably dispersing our Guardian at the end of the turn. We're both kind of grinding down on resources here. My opponent's down to 2 cards in hand. We don't have a whole lot of more things we can play. Ooh, another Patrol. Actually, ugh. Oh, I didn't do it in time. Okay, well, I can't do anything about this. That was a little bit unfortunate. So the Rock's Oracle is going to hit us for kind of a lot. I need to bounce that. Ugh, oh, that's so bad. If I had to stop on my opponent's main phase, I could have got them, but I clicked through a little bit too quickly. I mean, it's bad for us either way, but... So what were our lines? Our lines are next turn we draw a land. We Totally Lost plus Disperse. Totally Lost, get rid of that. We'll replay. Really want to disperse this. We take a lot, and I can't think of a way to get rid of Sky Predator Patrol permanently. Like, we have to find our Lightning Strike. Multiple Skyrider Patrols are bad for my health. I think we just got it. No, because I can't bother replaying that. Okay. Oh, they draw a card. Oh, it feels so bad. Okay, alright, we're just gonna take it. Take your stupid 5. Enjoy it. We'll bounce the Dwindle, or bounce the Guardian, probably replay it. Down to 13. We have, like... So good. If I had to attack or something, then it might be less crazy, but it feels so good. Bring our Guardian back. It's a 1-for-1. It's a slow 1-for-1 for us, though. We really need to find, like, Lightning Strike, exactly. We're still gonna take 5 next turn, but we can, I guess, trade off. No, ugh, it's both of them. We could wait and try and Totally Lost, or we could just take 6 next turn. Get Snapping Drake into play, so my opponent can't swing at the Skyrider Patrol, at least. That's best. Oh, Plummet. Yeah, this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be tough. Oh, Skyrider Patrol is so good. So good. It's like Hedonist Climb, except for an uncommon. And, like, not quite as busted, but still pretty busted. Alright, yeah, we'll take it for sure. Okay. So, still can't play anything else. Guess we'll go ahead and wait until my opponent puts the trigger on Rock's Oracle, and then we'll Totally Lost it. Kind of feel like this is a losing battle, though. Here for guide. I guess playing that pre-combat in case I had some sort of flash creature, maybe? Oh, just getting in the old-fashioned way. Okay. My opponent gonna put a trigger on somewhere else, then? Yeah, that's actually pretty smart, because then they get to put it on the Druid of the Cowl and get in for 4 still. Yeah, that's very clean play for my opponent. Kind of interesting that it, like, goes there and then triggers. I even want to show my opponent Totally Lost. I have a way out. I guess maybe something involving, like, sleep. I think we actually used Totally Lost last game, too. Yeah, we did, actually. No, that was 2 games ago. Never mind. Alright, we go down to 1. Like, yeah, I don't think we're getting back in this, but... Alright, Patrol too strong. Patrol too strong. Okay, it's still 1-1, though. My opponent managed to draw out of their tough mana issues pretty well. And here we are, I guess. Plummet is obviously a good sideboard card for my opponent. Can't do too much about it, though. Really don't think there's too much we change still. Yeah, run her back. Who needs sideboard cards when our deck is that good, right? Alright, we would like to play first. And yeah, this is fine. Pretty slow, but it's fine. There's a lot of power in this hand. Potentially could see us like drawing a couple of good cards and really getting going. If we find like Sky Scanner or something into the Artificer, that's pretty stupid. Opponent rolled to 6 and went to the bottom again. They definitely have not had great luck. Don't want to play Rupture Spire first. Man, I'm going to do that to myself at some point. I'm so scared of this card. I wonder what the flavor is there. It's like the Magic Spire of all the colors, but it is bad for your lands. I don't know. Okay, yeah, we're gonna play Spire now. Very careful to pay the land. Yes. Yes. Okay. Whew. Crisis averted, guys. Crisis averted. I think Sky Scanners, or yeah, probably Sky Scanner, or even Field Creeper is probably like our single best draw next turn. Then we get in with the Artificer. Sky Scanner, come on. No, that's actually not terrible. It's a little bit later on in the game. Sure. I'm probably gonna start off with Snapping Drake. Probably can afford to do Sift just a little bit later and get some actual like gas down on the field first. Runic Armasaur, 2/5. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of a creature or land that isn't a mana ability. Do we have very many activated abilities in this? After a quick glance through, I actually don't think we have any, so I think it's just a 2/5. Not a bad card though. Just maybe not the best against us. Ooh, Lightning Strike. Love that. That's got the stupid Simic Sky Glider thing written all over it. Okay, so we'll play our Drake this turn. If it doesn't need a Plummet, well, I guess even if it does eat a Plummet, we'll play the Guardian next turn. Giant Spider, fair enough. And then the Artificer the turn after that. Yeah, we take 2. You got me. Well, it looks like they're stuck on green this time around. We do have Electrify. I guess we could just go for it on the Spider, but I think I want to get the Guardian into play. So it's very possible we'll play this. My opponent's like, oh, okay, I need to leave back. Well, actually, the double block isn't even good. But they probably can't swing at their Armasaur then. And then if we get the Aether Shield Artificer into play, the Guardian just gets to start going ham. Paradise. Alright. They found their blue. Not the stupid dwindle. Ugh. How come you gotta dwindle things? So it's only when it blocks, right? I guess we can still swing as a 1/7 indestructible. Fair enough. Stupid dwindle. Okay, we hit another land. Get Electrify, just get in. Also Sift, although Sift doesn't seem stupid good at this point. I think we'll just Electrify. Still have Lightning Strike up next turn, potentially. The Artificer will still be good at some point. Really the only way we can undo Dwindle is with our Disperse, which is not particularly good. There's that Skyrider Patrol. Overpaying by 1, that's actually brutal. Oh, Dispersing. But I cannot do that. I feel like they were better off giving the token, but I guess maybe they just want to use their mana efficiently after the Gift of Paradise maybe got them a little bit bad. Okay. Kill off Skyrider Patrol, number 1. Still got Sift. My opponent's down to 1 card. Still got Sift. Alright, so we are at 7 mana. Want to play Sift at this point? Probably still just play the Drake, right? We play the land? I don't think I actually need the... On the other hand, if we do, that means we're pretty likely to be able to play the Artificer and Sith next turn. On the other hand, we may be dumping gas if we do that. I think I'm going to play it. If we find something that is like a spell, we may also play it. Play the Artificer and the other spell. No, there's Skyrider Patrol. Anything but that. Horizon Scholar. Well, I didn't mean anything. I meant some things. Alright, well, we've used up most of our good removal. Horizon Scholar is a problem. Opponent went top and bottom. Got the perfect amount of value out of it. Runic Armasaur gonna continue the onslaught? Looks like. Ooh, Departed Deckhand's not bad. Play our Artificer. Play our Deckhand. Try and sift in the general direction of a sleep, maybe. Woohoo! Look at him. He's a 1/7 indestructible who don't need no blocks. We're pretty far behind. Another dwindle. Alright. Someone's handled us pretty well this game. I'm kind of trying to figure out how we got behind on card advantage, but it might be... It might actually be primarily because I've drawn a couple of extra lands. Exclusion Mage. It doesn't seem real good against what my opponent's doing. This is only opponent's control. Let's go with Sifton. Alright. Pitch, cancel, get Aerial Engineer into the air. And then we do have a block for the Scholar. That might be answer number 1. You want to get rid of Cancel more or Exclusion Mage more? Cancel is getting to the point of the game where it's pretty good. You need to play the land, I think, this turn, which is unfortunate. Exclusion Mage is powerful. I think Cancel actually may end up just being better. Hey, yeah, we will take that. Swing with our Departed Deckhand and start that slow march on our opponent's life total. It's gonna be a pretty slow march. Oh, we've got a 4/4 flyer. It's like a Horizon Scholar, except for worse. It does cost 4, though. Details. Hopefully that shores us up. They don't have something good this turn. Okay. Rock's Oracle is fine. The fact that my opponent's drawing a card off, it's probably the best part about it. We do have Cancel up. And the capacity to still find some more flyers. Not a whole lot of removal, though. Or Deckhand eventually starts to kill my opponent. Ugh, the island mocks me, since I didn't pitch it off the Sift. But I do think getting the Aerial Engineer in on time was important. I think the Deckhand's going to be better than the Aether Shield, so probably just end up trading that off for the Rock's Oracle. This does kill in a lot of turns. This is pretty good if we find the other Guardian. That's kind of the main thing that gets it going. I mean, I guess Gargoyle Sentinel too. Maybe. Maybe we should offer the trade there. Impossible. Uh-oh, this is big. Wind Reader Sphinx. Whenever a creature with flying attacks, you may draw a card. Well, I'm glad I have Council. That's pretty sweet, though. Kind of expensive. I'm not sure if the card's actually all that good, but it's a sweet thing. I think he comes in with the Rock's Oracle. I don't think you're particularly unhappy about it. Maybe I should trade away the Snapping Drake. Keep the Aether Shield Artificer alive for a turn. Yeah, I don't hate that. If we find like one of our random 2-drops, we can block that in the future. And this is something that we could pull along with the Departed Deckhand, which is kind of nice. Just another land. Can't afford to chump block anymore. Yes, we'll just have to trade this time around. Yes, yes. Mr. Gearsmith to you, sir. I don't know. It may end up being the case that we should have just traded with this. But the thing is, if we find like another Guardian or something, this just turns it into a super rapid clock. We could take another 4. Yeah, I think we're just gonna block like that and take 4 still. I was gonna say, I'm not sure my opponent wants to block unless they're coming in with Horizon Scholar. It's just such good upside. Or sleep. Or even like a bounce spell. Being totally lost. I don't think it's real likely on the other hand, if they have like bounce spell, then we lose because they get to hit it with the Horizon Scholar and we can't replay it. Alright. Rest in peace. I'm not sure if this is correct. But it is happening. I do think that blocking with the Drake was probably correct for giving us one more opportunity there. And Gerfer Guide. Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh man, there's the Guardian too. So let's see. This can potentially swing as much as a 4-1. Doesn't do real well against the Guardian. That can block anyway. Yeah, so let's get in with our deckhand, play the Guardian. We're a sleep away from victory, right? It's been a pretty close game. Fortunately, this clause doesn't matter too much. The Gearsmith Guardian was a really good draw. Is what we call a rip, my friends. Okay, opponent offering the trade. This is pretty much a force block. If they have a trick or something, it's bad for us, obviously, but I guess actually we were pretty close to killing, weren't we? That's 4, 9, 11. Yeah, I guess that's a problem for my opponent eventually. Oof, another land. Let's get in with our deckhand. Could swing with both. Chump block there. Yeah, I guess actually maybe I should have even done that earlier. Oh, but we can't chump block because my opponent can always make it so this can't block. Right. And then we're dead. Another 2. We're awfully close. That Guardian was a godsend for sure. No attacks is good for me. Not a land. Man. A lot of lands. Still can't afford attack. Have to hope my opponent just keeps missing here. But I mean, we've been missing. It's only fair, right? On 12. We only have 5 lands left in the deck. It's less than a third. No value. No value. Hey, Druid of the Cal is not that bad. If we survive one more turn, we get to win, because the deckhand can sneak the Guardian through. Sleep's probably still just like the straight up best draw. Come on, sleep. Sleep. Give it to me. Ooh, disperse is actually pretty good. So if we disperse Dwindle, do we have lethal? We get rid of that. We give the 4 and 4 and swing. If they have anything, it's bad, but if they had anything, they would have used it, right? That costs us, we have 11, 12 mana. We disperse for 2. That costs us 4. Have anything sneaky? They have a disperse of their own. They would have used it on the Guardian and killed us. I think they don't have anything. This feels sketchy. We could just play it slow, swing this next turn, then disperse away something on my opponent's turn. Going for lethal gives them one less draw. I don't think they have anything. This is not instant speed. Alright, cross our fingers. And choose that guy. Oh, that's true. They get to draw cards, though, off this. Ooh, ooh, that's true. Ooh, I forgot about it. I was like, I don't think there's anyone in the deck that gives my opponent stuff. I think we're committed at this point, though. Just have to hope my opponent doesn't find like a disperse. Ooh, that is bad though. Runic Armasaur means we should have played it slower. Ooh, I just completely forgot about that. Alright. In with the force. No trick. Don't tap mana. Don't tap mana. Yes! Whew. Oh man, I've never felt so much stress in my life. Oh. Man, my opponent had sleep? Oh, they drew Sleep in Rock's Oracle. Oh, that's funny. You drew me into the sleep for all the rubs in. Pay no attention to the fact that I used the wrong 2 there in my my chat. That's okay. Ooh, we got there. We got there. That was close. I'm not sure I would have gone for it again with the Runic Armasaur. Although I guess actually my opponent would have hit the rocks and then hit the sleep if we'd waited. Poof. Super close. I think we got pretty lucky there, but happy to pick up the victory. 2-0. Come on. First 3-0 of the set. First 3-0 of the set. I can feel it. Alright, all comes down to this. Match 3. Can the luck hold? Pretty okay hand. Let's go ahead and keep. Says the potential to be fairly devastating. Exclusion Mage maybe isn't going to get played on turn 3, in which case the hand's kind of slow, but if my opponent gives us something to bounce, like a Gearsmith Prodigy, we probably will bounce it. Let's play Rupture Spire and continue to horrify myself. Prevent this. Yes. Okay. And I don't know. What's the dream here? My opponent plays something and like equips it up? I don't know. I don't think there's anything that costs 1 and equips. Blue-red. We'll take 1. We'll play, and you know, we're just gonna Exclusion Mage. I think we could keep up Cancel. Maybe worth considering. Exclusion Mage probably will get better value in the future. And this next turn is like the Enigma Drake turn, potentially, which is pretty good. My opponent just anticipating here, we will allow that. And yeah, we'll counter just about anything here. Sky Scanner, sure. Rest in peace, Sky Scanner. Not very many of you in the world that are going to get countered, but you are the one. I guess it saves us a point of damage from the Prodigy. That's not all bad either. Opponent looks like they're in the same sort of Artifacts Matter deck that we are, and have seen a fair amount, actually. So we could play the Aviation Pioneer, and then the Guardian next turn, and then make sure we probably get at least 1 good activation out of our Artificer. Which doesn't seem terrible. This is much less weak to removal. It's not quite as mana efficient, but I'm okay with that. Alright, let's see what my opponent's follow-up is. Certainly nothing better than Sky Scanner. Divination. Arguably better. Probably not actually for... Sky Scanner is probably actually better for my opponent's deck. Looked like they had to Divinate to find a land. Feel so bad. Snapping Drake. So I think we are just going to go for the Guardian here and get the Artificer in a little bit later. Guardian's a pretty hefty beatdown. Opponent looks like they have struggled just a little bit to find lands, and that along with the Gearsmith Prodigy has meant that their start looks kind of anemic. They might have something pretty good here though. Guardian of their own. Well, the Artificer is actually going to not be terrible here, because it's going to hit fairly hard. Ooh. Yeah, I think we should still play this. Go ahead and target that Guardian, and swing. Get 'em, artifacts. The opponent goes down to 11. Not a particularly good block for them there. I guess they could have chump blocked with the Prodigy, but that doesn't feel great. Crash through. Okay. Just cycling here, I imagine. I wouldn't be surprised if my opponents, if they're playing Crash through and anticipating the like, if they do have some number of Enigma Drakes. Alright. Do they get in? It's a little bit of an interesting decision. Looks like they do. I will just take it down to 13. So I don't... Oh, okay, they're playing something anyway. Okay, that is the Enigma Drake. And Explosive Apparatus. Okay. So this turn we've got 6 mana. What is our best line? Our best line is definitely hitting with the Guardian. Our best line is probably bouncing my opponent's Enigma Drake. Or we could just not bounce quite yet. Could play Snapping Drake, although it's pairs very, very poorly against Explosive Apparatus. I think I want Exclusion Mage, away the Drake. I want to swing with our Guardian. get in for 8 damage. I'll probably throw the ability on the Thopter this time. Exclusion Mage, Omen Speaker. I guess let's Omen Speaker first in case we see something that does change that line, although I can't think of what it would be. Put that on the bottom. That's actually probably okay. You want to try and find something else? No, I think the game's probably going to end in the next couple of turns is the only reason why I would consider putting that on the bottom. Like, I think it's going to end one way or the other in the next couple of turns, but... Bounce the Enigma Drake. Go to attacks, make the Thopter big. We won't be able to do this every turn because they can hold up Explosive Apparatus, but this time it's not bad. And I guess we can swing with that as well, can't we? And that just forces a chump block. Pretty good. They have like exactly shock, and even it's not terrible, yeah. Alright, opponent's at 5. Hopefully with next to no hope remaining. They have Enigma Drake. 3 other cards. Enigma Drake is still one of their best options. So is there any way we have lethal here? Target that, kills that. Block, not quite, right? Because if we target there, my opponent kills like that. And then we swing in, that chump blocks, that kills, that only gets in for 3. We go over there, it only gets in for 4. I think we still play it slow for another round. Enjoy the gentle abyss of the massive Gearsmith Guardian. I take my opponent to 1, then I guess go for it next turn. But I think we're ahead enough that I like this. Play another one. That's going to be tough for my opponent, I think. Could have counter magic. Oh, looks like they might actually. Bone Dash. Fair enough. Still going to need a fair number of like good targets this next turn. This Artificer has done some serious work this game. So's the Guardian, I guess the combination of the two. Opponent tapping, uses the Explosive Apparatus, and it's going to kill off the Artificer, it looks like. It's not something we can really do anything about, but should still put us in a pretty good spot here, right? We swing with everything. If they have an answer for the Gearsmith Guardian, they get to snipe one thing, but we still get in for 3. They probably just have to trade, in which case maybe we have lethal. Yeah, I think we attack with everything here. I don't think there's any team or battle rage sort of effects that my opponent could just randomly kill us with next turn, so. Trading, and 0. Alright. Yeah, I managed to get rid of the Aether Shield Artificer, but it was just a little bit too late there at the end. Yeah, as always, I'm going to glance over the sideboard and then decide there's nothing we want to play. Perfect. Okay, a pretty solid hand here. Omen Speaker will probably help us keep from drawing more lands. Hopefully we'll find us some more action to follow up the Aven Wind Mage. Sleep is always a welcome card, although not fantastic in your opening hand. But yeah, let's keep this. I can definitely see my opponent having some like good aggressive starts that punish us, especially ones that start with the Prodigy, but Omen Speaker is a fairly nice, cheap value wall. I wish I'd played more Theros. Cards like this are just super sweet. Ooh, alright. Gearsmith Prodigy beatdown. The next turn, we're gonna face down a Sky Scanner. Ooh, Aviation Pioneers, not bad either. It's almost like we're playing a mirror match, except for we're basically mono blue. This guy's Sift and Aerial Engineer. The Engineer we actually can't play right now, so I should probably bottom that, despite it being pretty good. You want to put Sift on top? Yeah, I think Sift on top seems fine. It does mean that maybe we won't hit the Gearsmith Guardian on time, but we get a couple of draws after that too. We have some good lands in hand, so. Alright, opponent starting the beatdown. You got me. No play. Yeah, we're just gonna play the Wind Mage. Might get countered. Gets countered, gets countered. Does not. Omen Speaker will continue being my best friend on defense. And then next turn, we're probably playing Sift. Maybe play Aviation Pioneer. Actually, probably play Aviation Pioneer. Opponent looks like they had a kind of a tough decision with Anticipate. They took a minute there. We're still hitting land drops. Omen Speaker of their own. It's fine. I actually think that, like, Omen Speaker as a defender for them matters a lot less than Omen Speaker as a defender for us, since we're playing a lot of random flyers and they're playing random prodigies. Opponent went bottom and top. 1-1. Probably have a trick here. Not sure that I'm super concerned if they do, though. I don't think it's likely they have an instant speed artifact, so yeah. Sure strike I will trade. I don't really want Gearsmith Guardian to get got down the line, so seems okay. Do we want to Sift, or do we want to Aviation Pioneer? Kind of like building out the Pioneer a little bit more. Potentially makes our blocks a little bit better. Also is another blue source to make sure the Guardian's online next turn. I think we'll wait, cast Sift until we're kind of running out of gas. Oh, I should have kept up red to maybe show off Shock. Well, slight misplay. Not a real big one, but slight. Explosive Apparatus. My opponent, kill whatever they want. So we could trade the Apparatus for both halves of this. Let's see. We block everywhere. My opponent blows up the Apparatus. They only get to kill. I guess we get a Thopter probably out of the deal. Yeah, actually that doesn't look too bad. Not sure they want to kill that either. Even if they have like Sure Strike again, that would be really bad. Maybe that was a bad block. I'm not sure my opponent wanted to use that actually, after all. Hopefully this does not blow up in our face really badly. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Opponent just trading the Prodigy for the Pioneer. That's actually like probably the best case scenario for us. I think it was an incredibly likely case scenario, but probably the best one. Alright. I did not think about that block as much as I should have, though. I could have gotten burned. And just taking the one, we'll play a Gearsmith Guardian. Our old friend Geary. That actually seems pretty good. Because there are like a fair number. Okay, disperse. Okay. Good tempo play, but my opponent's kind of running out of cards in their hand. Gearsmith Guardian, because it seems like there are a fair number of cards that care about artifact synergies, and frequently in blue, the Guardian seems pretty okay. And we're just going to play the Guardian again, I think. Pretty far ahead at this point, I think. So, playing anything that helps us mitigate potential loss of life is nice. Smelt. Ooh, that's sideboard. Okay, alright. Smelt, you got me. We will continue taking one here. Alright, yeah, Smelt was pretty efficient. Actually, that's true. That might be better than I was giving it credit for, given the set that it's in. Snapping Drake, try and expose for the Apparatus, then bounce it back. Feels kind of whatever. Kind of like Sifting, I think, at this point, trying to find a little bit more gas. Field Creeper's kind of whatever. It might eat my opponent's Apparatus, though. I do like having another Guardian. We want Plains? Want to pitch, like, Disperse or something? I don't really love that. Yeah, I guess I'll pitch Plains. And let's go ahead and swing with our Thopter as we have been doing. And play a Field Creeper. With the intention of probably blocking. I guess actually keeping the Thopter back might have been better that turn, since the Field Creeper's probably going to die, and then the Thopter plus the Omen Speaker might be able to double block. Or at least threaten double block. Alright. I'm still coming in with both. It's fine. We'll offer trades. Okay. My opponent's got like a trick or whatever. Yeah, that's... I do not care that much about that. I guess technically my opponent gets a 0-for-1 or something since they draw a card off the chill, but that does not matter that much. Deckhand's pretty good. We could play that and the Snapping Drake. I guess I just want to get the Guardian into play though. And keep swinging with our trusty Thopter. Hopefully they don't have another Smelt. So we have 7 power on board. Sleep's gonna get close to getting my opponent at some point. We may have to accept the fact that Snapping Drake is just gonna get got by the apparatus here. Just taking it. So next turn we might go for Sleep. I kind of like keeping up Electrify then, just in case something goes horribly wrong for us. Although I guess maybe Disperse is as good an argument then. Play Snapping Drake, keep up Disperse. Wouldn't be surprised if the apparatus kills the Drake here, but what you gonna do? Yep. Opponent sandbagged that for a long time to make sure they got their value, and they got their value. Even Wind Mage. So let's see. We have 7 power on board. Can't kill for sure next turn. Probably will sleep. And go and block there. Sleep, we still have Disperse up. We swing for quite a bit. We Disperse now. Don't really want them to be able to replay something. Eh. Alright, let's sleep my opponent. This might be a little bit greedy. If they have like another smelt or something, this could maybe go awry, but if they don't have something, we give them 1 turn to draw into something, because we have Electrify and Disperse to take care of potential blockers. I think this is just going to be good enough. Actually, they do have 2 blockers. It's kind of funny. Yeah, we'll Disperse the Thopter and Electrify the Pioneer is the plan. Is there like a mana leak in this format? I don't think so, but let's play our plans. I would be very embarrassed. Alright, I got you. Cool. Hey, 3-0. We made it. We went the distance, guys. I didn't think it was possible. I mean, I knew it all along. Cool. So our first foray into the format was Mill, and that did not go great, but it does look like there's maybe something to this artifact deck. Aethershield Artificer and Aerial Engineer were both pretty good payoffs. I think that most of the payoffs are uncommon, like the 1-1 or 1-2 my opponent was playing. It's not super exceptional, but making Gearsmith Guardians, which are common, into like huge indestructible threats was pretty solid. And all in all, I think the deck was just good. We had a reasonable amount of interaction. I think I am happy with the fact that I ditched the red and went for a slightly greedier mana base, but I think a higher power deck in general. Sleep impressed, as is, I guess, not real surprising. Yeah, deck's cool. Glad we went the 3-0. Thanks for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. You're all the best. See you next time.